Hello. Happy Monday to you. What a glory. Wow. Today was a great opportunity for tours. And I guess I never thought of him as a mentor. I was thinking on my way to see him today that um, I had worked at an attorney firm, a law firm first, Gelman and Mandel. And I did that for a few years before I had the great opportunity to work for a telecommunications company in New York City. So, for this girl who grew up in Long Island, New York, to have a job in Manhattan was like huge, you know? Um, that's really what a lot of people dream about when you grow up in Long Island or somewhere outside of the city, as we called it. So I had an in with a friend who got me the job. Her name was Chris Jimenez. And she introduced me, and I got the job. And I started out as a receptionist. I worked my way up to a trainer and finished at this position as the project manager. And so I used to go and train big companies, but mostly the phone systems, because this is way back when everybody put in a huge Toshiba, or it was called Lucent Technologies, and then it was bought out by Avaya. So voice over IP was kind of just getting hot when I was leaving. And that was a long time ago. So it's been around for quite a while. And I really did not want to go out and train companies. So, but Bob saw something in me and he said, you'd be good at it and you should try it. And I remember the first time I went out and did it and I was so scared. Could you imagine like being in your early 20s and going out in front of a company and teaching them how to use the system? And like, I used to have to go down on Wall Street to some of the traders, and it was just all men and me teaching them how to use the system that they could care less about, you know? And then I used to record all the voicemails all around Manhattan of all the systems that we used to sell. And then Bob told me, you'd be really great at sales. You should really try sales. And I'm like, no, you're not going to rope me into some commission. I still have a bad taste in my mouth about commission to this very day, but I had no desire. I had no desire to sell. So what I did was I trained the companies and I did the upsell and I sold service contracts. I just remembered that. But I think we worked it somehow into my salary. I don't think I was getting any commission, quite honestly. But he always told me that I'd be great at sales. And I always said, you're out of your mind. I would never be good at sales. So, and truth be told, like I still to this day don't sell my own company. I would much prefer to sell other people because I'm really good at selling other people. And I can sell my own business, of course. I definitely know how to do that and do it well. Don't have any qualms saying that to you today. But I just don't love the feeling of a sale. I think when you give value to somebody continuously, that just comes back around and people will remember that, and that's your sale. So just being good, like he just taught me just to be good to people in business, do the right thing. If you have to do something extra, just do it, keep the client happy. And he was always, always, always about the client. And he had really, really big clients like Steve Madden. Before Steve Madden even became a thing, that was one of the first clients that they worked with, I'm sure. L'Occitane. I remember I met Richard Gere through working for this company. So we had such a great time reminiscing about it today. But the best part, so he was in Tampa for a little while. He had some business dealings and he has a plane. He's always been a big advocate for anything aviation and always, was flying his plane all over the place. And so I met him at the airport in Tampa. And, the little one that's, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one in Tampa, the small one, not St. Pete Clearwater. But anyway, I digress. He was with his brother, and I had never met his brother before, so that was super cool. He was his older brother, who also is an entrepreneur and does a credit card processing company. Super cool. What a great guy he was too, telling me all of what he survived and showed me where he lived in Manhattan and a beautiful view of Central Park. It was quite impressive. And Bob and I were just reminiscing about what it was like. And he was so happy of it that he's like got a plane. And I'm like, you realize that you not only have a plane, but you fly a plane. So cool. Such a cool and grounded, nice guy. And I got to stop him. He was talking, typical New York, Jewish love to hear all the ideas. And it's just like so many going on at the same time. It's like you have to keep up with the conversation. Oh, how I miss that. Ooh. But I got to say to him, Bob, I just want to thank you. I know my eyes got all welled up and he got welled up and I could get welled up now. I just said, thank you so much. Thank you so much for believing in me. Like he believed in me as a young woman. Like I was in my early 20s. I had little confidence, but he put me out there. It was like, when mom and dad were like, it's time to swim. It was just like, get in the pool, and he just threw me out there to the wolves. And there were a lot of wolves in Manhattan. Trust me when I tell you, they weren't always very happy to see me or to have me come in and train the company, especially because they didn't understand the equipment. That was always fun. So, but all of that has transferred into the skills that I have today in my own business. And I take all of that courage that I was forced into and apply that to my business, taking a risk and having empathy and understanding that just because I know something doesn't mean somebody else understands it as easily. So, really, really just such a wonderful, wonderful time in my life. And I broke my ankle when I was still working for Teledynamics, and I couldn't see my clients. So I got somebody for him, of course. I'm still doing the same thing. I found this girl, she had this resume and she knew all the things, and I was a little too nice because she done took my job, okay, while I was out on disability. And then I forced him to pay me unemployment because I now had to get a new job. And that's when I landed in medical, literally landed in medical because, here I was, didn't know what I was going to do. I had this great job as a project manager. I was making great money in Manhattan. And what am I going to do now? There weren't a lot of privately held telecommunications companies in Manhattan that I wanted to work for. So I ended up at New York Medical. And that's a story for another day. But it's so important to thank your mentors and your teachers and anybody that's helped you with anything that you're doing in your business. And what an amazing opportunity for me to just be able to thank him and hug him. And, it was worth every minute of driving to that airport where my hair got all windblown and hence the way it is today, right now. But thanking him was a joy to my heart. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to so many people and so many things, but like I don't even know how old I was. I think I was like 24. And like Long Island Railroad into Penn Station, walked down the block, 28th and 7th. And Pat from Ireland was our elevator operator. Pat, he was so hard to understand because he was from the country. So anyway, just really great to reminisce and, remember how it all started, the whole journey, and I added this today to a post in Facebook. He was also the first person to say yes to the big raise that I asked for. So I went from this trainer to upselling, and I felt I really was managing projects that were going on. So I was like, well, I'm a project manager. I started doing all this research online, and this is like, it was way slower then. It was like a modem. And I gathered all this information up about being a project manager, and I went into his office prepared, scared to death, and I asked him for a $10,000 raise, and he looked over the work, and he saw that I had done my homework, and I'll never forget. And he got up and he gave me a big hug, and he said, "You got it." And me and mom and dad went to Rocco's. Of course, that's what we did. We went to Rocco's and we celebrated. And was never afraid to ask for a raise after that. That's for sure. If you want something, you ask for it, but you better back it up with some of the work that you've done to get it. So I hope that you have an opportunity in your travels and business to thank somebody that helped you, because we can't forget where we came from. And being grateful is part of the key to success. So thank you, Robert Pullman.